Okay, so yesterday, I thought we had a really good day hitting, talking about movements, and I'm going to be extremely hypercritical of myself to illustrate why movements need to be changed. So, got there yesterday, grabbed a bat, and just took a regular swing off the tee. And if I'm being honest with myself, as I watch this, right there, I can't hit. I have no chance of hitting. Because if you look at how everything just rocks backing up. Zero chance of hitting. Because as we've talked about, as we start to get this being our movement, look how that movement is up. All that's going to happen is a total weight flop onto that. Let me get an arrow. A total weight flop onto that front side. Terrible. I'm in no position to hit whatsoever. And it all comes back to movements, right? Everything, just like we work pitching, everything comes from the ground up. And watch this horrific first move I make. Watch how my hip goes up. No chance to hit. If I don't make a change, I'll never be successful hitting, because now it just flops down and you can see the weight just flop forward, and look how early my hands come into play. Right? I have no stretch whatsoever, and I'm all arms going to the ball. And it all comes back to movements. It all comes back from this terrible stride where I rock up. Once I get there, that's a death move. I have no chance to hit, because all I'm going to do now, watch the weight flop down on my front side, and look how early my arms come into play. So now, after watching that and seeing what I knew I would see, because it's 21 years of hitting fungos, I decided, all right, we have to make an adjustment. And so I decided to over-exaggerate a movement. So I went with an over-exaggerated negative movement. Look, over-exaggerated negative movement, and I didn't move my hands as I went back with my negative movement. Okay, exaggerated. Now, look at how everything is going to go forward and level. And I'll zoom in on the comparison with how my foot goes forward. See how my hips are level going forward now? I'm level. The other thing is, my foot went backwards as I knew it would on the last swing from fungos. Now, if we zoom in, look how it continues to go forward. And more importantly, look, as I go heel, heel, that's a stretch. Now I can hit. This is what we're talking about, where you have to be honest with yourself and realize, if I'm making a bad move early, I'm not going to be successful, okay? And so as I saw that last swing, how terrible that first movement was, I over-exaggerated negative movement, then a long, so much more length, and that allows me to actually get a stretch, to get lower half engagement with my hand still all the way back there, still inside the ball. So now, here are the two swings side by side. The one on the left is the god-awful first bad movement, the rock up. No chance. And as I was talking about before, if we zoomed in on my feet, look at how awful my stride is. See how it goes back? Back, back. As soon as I go back, that's a death move, right? Because as I go back, if I come back out, you can see how my weight just flops, right? And if we look at, closely the heel, which is awful here, you can see how early my arms come into play. Now, the second swing, the one on the right, is by no means good. There's still a million things I need to do better, but it's an example of making a change. The exaggerated negative movement to get the length. Now, I still don't like how I still get some, I can't draw on this, how I still get some hip movement leaking forward, but it's much better at immediate preparation. If we zoom in here, and it's harder because I actually get some length, heel, heel, look at the difference in the two. Look at the stretch that I've generated there, right, versus there. It's not even comparable, right? And again, by no means is this good, but it's an example of how to change from a movement that allows zero chance for success, no chance to hit right there, no chance to hit right there. I'm done with that up, down, flop, arms first. Here, at least now I'm giving myself a chance by getting length and getting right into the ground. Again, see how my foot goes backwards? Here, my foot keeps going forward. Now, despite I don't like my posture, I don't like the little leak that I get in my front hip, but it's much more as I just roll into immediate prep. Much more into immediate prep. This is flopping arms. So the whole reason I did this was to show the sense of urgency to have, where if I'm having a bad move early, to go ahead and when we're doing these workouts in October and then into November, to try something radically different, to go ahead and exaggerate a movement so that we give ourselves a chance. I still stink, but I have a chance to hit striding like that and preparing like that.